So I came across an article this morning from Insider Gaming, which pretty much stated that the first Berserker Kazan nerfs hardest bosses in patch. So apparently when the game released on March 27th, on its day one patch, they ended up nerfing 2 of the game's bosses, which they say are the hardest bosses, but I will say I have fought one of those bosses and I might have a different opinion on that. But we'll get to that in a second. So the article ends up highlighting some of the patch notes that the dev ended up sharing on their subreddit, which ended up saying, Viper has already earned nicknames like Newbie Crusher from many players. While there are several reasons for this balance adjustment, the primary factor was our intentional design choice to present a slightly higher challenge during the difficulty tuning process. However, we realized that this posed an excessive burden on players adapting to the game. Additionally, to the extended duration required for immersive combat, although providing a definitive sense of accomplishment, led us to question whether it offered an appropriate level of challenge for players reaching Mission 3 for the first time. The answer leading towards no. Despite the possibility of many players simply giving up, you provided us with valuable feedback through various channels. Some mentioned that Viper felt like a final boss level challenge, yet Clarinet brought a thrilling satisfaction reminiscent of past experiences, sparking curiosity about what comes next if the third boss is this challenging. Now, based on that statement, I will agree, when I fought Viper and I finally beat him, it did give me that thought process of, damn, if this is what the third boss is like, what else is waiting for me down the road? Which, low-key, kind of excited. I had that same feeling when I had played Black Myth Wukong back then and you fought that Viper. Low-key, a Viper boss who ended up having 2 phases, and it made me question what else was down the line. And I feel like that's a very impactful moment in these types of games. Now, where I kind of have an issue with this situation is the fact that with first Berserker Kazan, the game already had easy mode. Literally, once you complete the first boss in the game, they end up giving you the option if you want to go easy or maintain on normal. And if you end up dying a bunch of times before you get to that point, they once again give you the option to go to easy mode. So the fact that the game already had settings in place for people who might find the game challenging, I just find it a little bizarre that we'd still go the extra mile to end up tuning a boss in normal mode. And that could just be my own bias, because I do enjoy these types of challenging games to begin with. Plus, I am a bit of a psycho, because in my own Twitch channel, I have things in place that actually makes a handicap for me where people can basically blind me mid-fight. Best believe, they threw that at me so many times against Viper that I got pissed. But by the time I ended up winning the fight, I felt really hype about it. But ultimately, these are changes that I've already made to the game. For people who are coming in for the first time, you'll be none the wiser, because what you face there is going to be the current version of the boss. But for those who had fought the boss prior and end up maybe restarting the game and fight the boss again, they might end up being the ones to feel that difference. And it could feel like a slight downgrade from the experience that they got when they first played the game. But what are your thoughts on it? Do you feel like it was necessary for them to tune down the bosses in normal mode, seeing as they already had easy? Or do you think that it's completely justified for them to end up changing the experience for everybody just because a couple of people didn't want to adjust their own playstyle to end up beating the boss?